Radical.
Sure, it's a month later, but I am fulfilling my obligation. I put a part one at the end of my response to Top Hat Gaming Man's essay comments part one. The bar, see, it said part one, and I was going to do a part two, but I got behind. So, my bad on that. In part one, the bar, I explained how, well, he talked about how he equated his channel to Netflix. And he said, if it is ethical for there to be a Netflix out here, a WWE out here, charging a subscription model a month, what's the problem with him charging a subscription model? And I'll leave a link to that at the end of this in the outro, if you want to check that out, my response, which was the bar. And I talked about how there is a bar, like for instance, I just finished watching The Ozarks, and it's fucking amazing show, by the way, on Netflix. There's nothing of that level that I'm ever going to find on any YouTuber's Patreon. It's just not. So, yeah, the bar, that's the bar, okay? I can guarantee you there's no YouTube channel. And I'm not saying the Top Hat Gaming Man's videos are not good. I think they're good. But they are in no way going to reach the bar of something like Netflix. And even making that comment, equating yourself to Netflix, this is kind of weird, I think, but a lot of YouTubers do it, and I understand it. I mean, from a business perspective. And he admits in that comment that his channel is a business, which is a good thing, right? So I'm happy he admitted that it is a business. It's his business. Yeah, so for business, I would see how you would want to equate yourself to something like Netflix, but it still seems kind of fucking silly to me. I made some notes here. I reread that comment. Message, ethical, and moral value set. Oh, you talked about how he admires that I stick to a message. I have an ethical and moral value set when it comes to YouTube. And he said I do stay consistent. So thank you for those kind of words there. Is it ethical to push Patreon during this time period was one thing he brought up. He thinks there's nothing wrong with it. I firmly disagree with that. I think of all the times to push a Patreon, this is really kind of one of the scummiest times to really push your Patreon. It is. Of all times, this time right now, and a lot of channels, a lot of YouTubers are doing this right now, they don't feel good. What's the one guy? Beard dude, completionist? Which I think your video was partly inspired by his. And if you want to know how I feel about his video, I'll leave a link to that at the end of this also. You might check that out too. And felt my criticism coming for yours. And I think I said yesterday or the day before, just because YouTubers are getting a little less in ad revenue right now, doesn't mean we need to start pushing the Patreon. Okay? It just upload twice as much. Okay? And I think your fans, Top Hat, would not mind if you uploaded more to your channel. I know maybe it takes some time to do the videos that you normally do, the documentary types, but maybe, you start a podcast, something like that. Just talking about random things. That's an option right there. Let's see here. Both like to be transparent, you said. Here's one problem I got. A lot of people, not just a couple, but a lot of people came by and they told me that they have been shadow banned on your channel. Yeah, that's not good, man. Okay? Like I said, unless they're just leaving the worst, most hateful type of comments to you. And even then, I would just give them a warning and say, hey, you know what? Don't be as vulgar or whatever. You give people warnings is what I'm saying. All right. There's a process, but I feel both on that and maybe social media. I'm not sure. You've done a lot of that. So as far as being transparent, I'm transparent. I think you have a little work to do as far as the transparency in that regard. You said months ago I needed to take a break, and you linked that to the transparency. Well, it was a little bit different situation. Some people, they need to take a break, and admittedly, okay, it was nice, it was refreshing. I might do that again in the future, not as long, of course, but it's nice to get a break from something like YouTube every now and then. In my instance, though, it wasn't just I needed to take a break. It's that my entire channel was under attack, and I was one strike away from, going away. So I just, I laid low. I even made a video saying goodbye to everybody because I didn't know what was going to happen. But yeah, so the way you worded that, I just kind of like, I laughed a little bit at that. You said I needed to take a break. No, not exactly. Pushing merch. Your idea, you said, was for your channel to be completely sponsorship funded, and you wanted to, push merch, but that didn't pan out. Here's the thing. I don't like shilling. I don't like sponsorships, but for getting back to good, for a channel like yours, I would say if you really made a push on the merch and you brought on a lot of sponsors, hey, Display, they're doing a lot of stuff. If you brought a lot of that on and just explain to your audience that, hey, you don't want to take any of their money, right? Maybe you feel bad one day and you're like, you don't want to take any of their money for your, okay, I won't say their hobby videos, your YouTube uploads. And you explain to people, I want to push a lot of sponsors because I don't want to have the Patreon and I want to be funded by the sponsors. Okay, in that instance, I would say that would be a great thing, So yeah, a lot of people out there. I don't like sponsorships. I don't like the shaver shit and the ExpressVPN, and I don't like the Raid Shadow Legends. But if it's a channel trying to get back to good, which again, from my moral and ethical value set, okay, not everybody feels the same way. But if you're trying to get back to good, then I'd be completely 100% on board. And I wouldn't give you a whole lot of shit because I would be like, hey, this guy dropped his Patreon, and he's sponsorship funded, right? I still might, take a couple cracks at you for all the sponsorship, but not as much because it'd be like, hey, this guy's trying to get on the path to good. Okay, so there's certain situations, and maybe that's an idea. Maybe you go to channels and you say, you know what, we don't like the Patreon, the $200 Patreon tier. Dude, just do more sponsorships. Okay, the last resort, the very last resort, should be taking money from your own audience in a membership method, subscription method, not just taking money once, but every single freaking month. You ain't Netflix, son. You ain't Netflix. What else? We both also agree. We doubt YouTube would last forever. Okay, so we have some agreements here. We have some disagreements and agreements here. You talk about your 50-hour work week and the heavy workload. Okay. Hard-working guy there, uploading your YouTube videos. I get it. Yep. Hard-working Top Hat. Oh, some nice videos, by the way. I do like some of your videos, but yeah, that 50-hour work week. Oh, man. Terrible. See, I could say something there, but I'm trying to be nice. Biggest criticism of me is the term e-begging. That's the thing. E-begging is I have a love-hate now, looking back, with the term e-begging. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Like, I get it. I understand it. I mean, people come by here and they ask me, like, what is it? What is the term? Me and Kenny sit down and we talked about it last year. And I guess there's maybe better ways to word it that aren't as, hurtful to people. I understand it is a hurtful term. A lot of people say, it's the term, and they get so sad. And you said where you're from, e-begging is considered a crime? Okay. It's a general term that people understand. And in the future, maybe I'll help pioneer a different way of saying it. But you got to understand, you think about the DSPs of the world and people say, okay, that's an e-beggar. People think about Review Tech USA and that's an e-beggar. What do these two people do? Okay. And you might do it classier than they do, but they accept money, large sums of money from people on the internet for uploading YouTube videos. I mean, the line kind of blurs with me, and I'm going to come right out and say that your channel is better than DSP Gaming and better than Review Tech USA. But it's really the method. And I talked about, what was it? I need to re-upload and bring that back because there's a very important video I made last year. Do you remember? the DSP rule, and I had a picture of the gaming historian on there. No, I had a picture of DSP and he's wearing fancy glasses. Okay, and it was the DSP rule. I'm not going to spoil that. I'm going to redo that in a radical rewind, okay? Because that was a really important video from last year. I had a lot of great ones from last year that I'll eventually get back to and repurpose. That goes back to, my little break away. My break from YouTube is I had to basically unlist or delete a lot of those uploads months ago. So if you wonder where a lot of these uploads are, you remember Con Men? That was a classic. I'm trying to slowly rework these if possible and upload them at some point this year, maybe into 2021, just depending. I lost my place. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, the term e-begging. Yeah, not everyone agrees with me on that, and that's okay. I don't need everyone to come here and be a yes man to me on the channel. You're going to agree with me, you're going to disagree with me. You're going to come by and tell me, hey, you know what? We think this person is an e-beggar, but this person is not. And then I'll sit back, I'll lean back, and I'll be like, oh, you do you? But yeah, not everyone agrees on it, and that's okay. And I get your criticism of me referring to a lot of people as e-beggars you don't think are, and you don't like the term. So I get where you're coming from, but yeah, I don't know what to say to you. I mean, what do y'all think? Do you all think Top Hat Gaming Man is an e-beggar? Do you think he fits the qualifications, the criteria? Do you? Leave it in the comment section down below. You all tell me, right? And you said there's more nefarious things out there than Patreon? Well, yes, definitely there are. There are. But again, like you're pointing to other things, you're pointing away from yourself and you're pointing to other things. Of course, there's things worse than Patreon. But when it comes to YouTube and the things that I can directly kind of speak on and I feel comfortable speaking on, yeah, there's a lot of things out there that are terrible in the world, but not everyone. I mean, not everything I can really speak on as well as I can, e-begging, right? And again, we might disagree on what that is. I'm passionate against that. I'm a passionate person that I don't think your own subscribers should give you any money on this platform for your hobby videos. And that's one thing you also said. You said, my videos, my uploads are hobby videos and yours are not. Yours are professional videos because you're a professional YouTuber. Now, I get that because your videos, I will say, there's a lot more time that goes into your videos on the whole, I would say, than my own. I mean, for Christ's sake, this is me talking over a static image in the background. I get that, I understand that. But if things changed here, and let's say I wasn't working and I was just a full-time YouTuber, okay, if it was my job to just, get on here for 8-9 hours a day and put every single thing I had into this, then I guarantee you, Top Hat, it would be a much different channel, okay? It would either be, I would probably do the kind of videos, maybe not specifically documentary type. I would get a lot of the fancy editing software and the stuff that a lot of you guys have, okay? It would get there eventually. I'm a handy kind of guy. It would either be that, or it would be maybe 9-10 uploads a day of just commentary, something like that. And then me uploading, nice gameplay, clipping comments. There's nothing incredibly difficult about what I do here, the process. But when it comes to actually the time investment, sometimes, going through your entire channel's comments, clipping them, even this right here, it's kind of like a mental investment, right? But it's not fancy, I get it. So I get where you're coming from, but there's as many people out here that will just actually come to my channel. Well, not as many, I'm sure, but there are people will come to this comment section and they'll say, you know what, Rick, when it comes to quality commentary, I've never come across a channel that has, that does whatever you do, has your particular brand of humor. People will come by and they'll tell me that, you're my favorite channel. And it was weird at first, right? I think Ducky might have been one of the first ones. And that was in 2018. Hope you're still around, Ducky. And he said that I'm his favorite YouTuber. And I sit back in my chair and I'm like, damn, I'm someone's favorite YouTuber. And then someone else stopped by, and then someone else stopped by. And I thought to myself, well, all I do is pretty much talk about things. I'm not doing any of these fancy, super documentary videos. But then I get it. I understand it, because people are like, sometimes we just want to listen to somebody. Maybe we got a busy day. Maybe we just want to drive on the way to work. We can't watch something, and we just want to listen to something. So when it comes to the audio portion of YouTube, I can say in confidence I'm probably one of the better commentary channels on all of YouTube. I could say that with confidence. And part of the reason I got to where I am is because I have a lot of great people that came by the channel that have inspired me to go forward. You know, people that leave amazing comments, and I said, well, I'm not going to give you the entire history of the channel or where I am right now from where I came from. But, yeah, I think we'll leave it there. What was this, like maybe 15 minutes? Yeah. And I don't have the time to be a professional YouTuber and to cut and edit this. There's probably a couple minutes here I could have probably cut out, but I don't have that time right now. But yeah, no hard feelings there. TopHatGamingMan. You know, you came here and you left me a comment, and I left you a response to it. I think this is all I have time to upload tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. And if I pissed a lot of you off, it took me a month to upload part 2. I understand it. In the future, I'll try not to put part 1 on anything if I don't have a part 2 or a 3 planned. Thanks so much.